Let us move to subject. Today, we are going to work on functions. Today, we are going to work on functions and functions with parameters. Parameters means it can also be called as functions with it. First of all, have you ever worked on functions? Which functions have you worked on? Array functions. Here also we have worked on it. What on click, what you are doing. So this is called functionality, correct? But this is called as array function, right? A new generation of function. That means functions can be created in multiple ways. Functions can be created in multiple ways. We have something called anonymous functions. We have something called callback functions. We have something called named functions. There are multiple types of functions are there. More or less, that's the same thing. Police, traffic police, both are police, but with little difference. Got the point? The same, there are different types of functions are there, right? What are these functions? I can create a function like this. I can create a function like this, and for this function, I am not giving any name. It's called anonymous function. What? Anonymous. That means no name can be given. But for the function, you can give a name also. That means let ABC is equal to. This is called named function. It's called named function. And we have one more type of function is also there called callback functions. Just to give you an example, we'll be discussing about that callback functions later. That is also same thing. For example, calculate is there. You can create it within like this. It's called callback function. Callback function we'll be discussing at later part. So far you have worked on anonymous functions. So far you have worked on anonymous function on click. You are just writing called anonymous function. And if you want, you can convert that into a named function. That means what? You just create a function, give a name to it, and call it. That is named function. Understanding what I am saying? See, a dog is there. If that is street dog, we can say anonymous dog. That means dog is dog only, but no name to it. But if someone has taken that dog into their house as a pet dog, the first thing they do is they put a name to it. Name it dog. Dog only. If it is on the street, it's not different, and if it takes home, it's not different. The same dog. But on the street, there is no dog. There is no name. But if it is in the house, there will be some name. Exactly the same. This is like street dog. This is like pet dog. Got my point? Now, this we'll be discussing at the later point of time. And the purpose of functions are to organize the code. Functions. The purpose of functions are to organize the. Why the functions are useful to organize the code is, just to give you an example. Have you heard about DMARC? How many items are there in DMARC? Multiple. Imagine around 2 lakh items are there. That means if you go to soap section, around 200 soaps. You go to paste section, around 100 paste. Imagine around 2 lakh products. If I dump all the products into one place, and out of that I want one Santosh soap, how much time I need? It will take more time. But all the items are organized properly and in a DMARC. Now, how much time it takes? 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Number of items are same. The product which you want is same. But first time it is taking lot of time. Second time it is taking less time. Why? Organized. Exactly the same thing. We have started writing hundreds of lines of. We are writing JSXML, we are writing JavaScript. Hundreds of lines of code we have started writing. Even if you see here, I think I have closed it, even if you see the previous work, hundreds of lines are there. The number of lines are becoming more, it becomes difficult to organize. It becomes difficult to get what we want. That's why organizing the code is important. Got a point? See, just to give you an example, Shivaratri. Shivaratri, for example, I'm giving an example. 20th December is Shivaratri, for example. Usually it comes in different dates. Imagine 20th December Shivaratri. Every day you go to the temple, to Lord Shiva temple. Directly you can have darshan. But if you go to the temple on the Shivaratri day, festival day, you will find so many things extra. Daily you will go directly. But on that day, you will find so many queues. Why? Special day, so what? Number of crowd, number of devotees will be more. The number of devotees are more, it becomes difficult to handle. That's why they will create the queue system. Queue system is what? Nothing but organizing properly. Got a point? Exactly the same. Number of lines are becoming more, it becomes difficult to handle. That's why we have to organize the code. That's why we use functions. Got a point? See, I'm giving an example. If you go to any cricket stadium, for example, the capacity of that stadium is around 50,000 people. How many entries will be there? How many exits will be there? Only one. Multiple entries will be there. Multiple exits will be there. Even 50,000 seating, while issuing the ticket, they will clearly tell you which stand, which seat number, which row, clearly organized properly. Understand? If it is a function, a family is celebrating a small birthday, around 10 people come. For that, no need to organize much. 10 people, they can come and sit anywhere. But 50,000 people comes means it's difficult. They will organize it properly. Exactly the same thing. Now the application is becoming bigger. The application is becoming bigger. We have to organize it properly. That's why they have introduced something called function. Got a point? And how to create a function? How to create a function? We will discuss. This is the way we can create a function. But this is the normal anonymous function. If it is a named function, we can create like this. can create. This is the latest syntax actually, but the old syntax is also there. If you wanted to create a function, you have to create like this function ABC, like this. You have to create. This is the old syntax. This is the new syntax. The name of the function is ABC. Here the name of the function is old syntax. If you wanted to create a function, you have to use the keyword function. But the new syntax, they have removed that Y directly. Got a point? Simplified. So, now see here. Whenever you create a component, starting with function, name of the function, open and close brackets. This is actually named function. Function within name. Understand? Now if I say np star now this is the old syntax of the function. If you want, you can convert that into arrow function, which is the new syntax, latest syntax. What is the purpose of functions? To organize the code. That is the main purpose. Everything is created normally. Right? But now see, I will change this. It is something like this. What I will do, comment that say, let the marks. Now this is the normal old function. Now I have converted that into new function, arrow function. Still it works because it's the same thing. This is the old syntax. This is the new syntax. This is a function. It's called as arrow function. Why it is called as arrow function? Because there is arrow in it. Why it is called as arrow function? Because they have created arrow. It is looking like arrow. So they have started saying arrow function. Technically speaking, it is called as fat arrow function. It's not slim arrow function, fat arrow function. But it is called as arrow function. Okay, understood? Now this is anonymous function or named function. Named function. Exactly named function. So we are creating components. Those components are actually called as functional components. We are creating components right now. 10th personal details. You are creating components. Even though you are calling it as component, that is technically called as functional components. Functional components. Why it is called as functional components? Because that is nothing but a function. If I ask you what is your qualification, what do you say? BTech. But actually it is Bachelor of Technology. But we call it as BTech. Understand what I'm saying? Exactly the same thing. We call it as component, but it is actually functional component. Functional component starts with function. That's the named function. Got my point? Even app also the same thing. Now app.js is there. App is also actually a function. Now this is a arrow function or normal function? Normal function. Now I can convert this into arrow function. This named function only. And I can convert this into an arrow function. Now I'll say let app. This is also Arab function. Latest syntax. They have simplified it. That's it. They have simplified. How do you book movie tickets? Earlier, you have to go to theater, stand in queue, fight, and get the tickets. Everyone has movie lovers, right? They wanted to go for the first day of the movie. People bunk the office and go for the movie. There are some situations are there. Whether it is office or college, people do that. But what they have to do, they have to go to the theater. They have to stand in queue. So some people will be pushing you. You have to stay there and you have to get the tickets. Now they have simplified it. What you open book my show, select how many tickets you want, what you want. Doing the same thing but simplified it here also. So this is you can say this is simplified form of creating a function. There is no difference. Actually. Very little differences are there. We can ignore it. Very little. They have not only changed the syntax. Little differences they have created. You can ignore them. If I tell now, it gets definitely. You can ignore it. This is called as normal traditional function. This is the arrow function. So arrow function is easy to create. Parenthesis, arrow, and parenthesis. That's it. Got a point. Clear? What is the purpose of functions? To organize the code. That is the purpose of function. But whenever you create a function, the code inside the function will not be executed until and unless you call it. Whenever I create a function, the code inside the function will not be executed until and unless you call it. That is its behavior. Giving an example. You are walking, you are an animal lover. Okay. Cow is there. You just try to touch the head of the cow. What it will do? It will not do anything. It will just do its work. Because you are animal lover. You treat every animal the same thing. You are going, one sheep came. You just you put your head on its head. Sheep also will be calm. You are animal lover. You like every animal the same. You are going, one snake came. What do? You try to put your hand on the head of the snake. What it will do? It will bite. Why it is biting? That is its nature, its behavior. You might be animal lover, but that snake doesn't know that. That is snake behavior. Exactly. The behavior of the function is if you create a function, the code in it will not be called until and unless you call it. Now here, see, app is nothing but a function. Are we calling it? And how come it is executing? We are calling it actually. Now see, in index.js if you go, this is like a calling. Index.js we have discussed in day 1 of React. It's like calling. And if I come to app.js, here 10th mark sheet is there. This is like calling. How many times you can call? Any number of times you can call. Now if I remove this, 10th mark sheet code will not be executed. It's like we are not calling. But that function you are writing it in JSXML format. You are calling it in JSXML. Because that is internally creating JavaScript only. Understanding? See, I'll give you another example. Your neighbors, your neighbors from past 20 years. No, one of their son is getting married. You have helped them because your neighbors, you know each other. They have invited everyone. Okay, you have helped them for invitation also, but they forgot to invite. What do you? So, not. How do you go? Yeah, some formality. Arey, yaar, come quickly. That is sufficient. No need like you have to come home. Do all the formalities. At least you have to say, "Arey, come early." That itself will take it as at least some formality should be there. Otherwise, we don't. Here also the same thing. Function. You create a very important function, very big function. It doesn't matter. You have to call it. If you call it, then only the function will be executed. And if you create the function, you can call it any number of times. You create it once, you can call it any number of times. Got a point? The purpose of functions are to organize the code. Purpose of functions are to organize the code, but it has lots of advantages. It increases reusability. How you are creating once and you calling it once. Understanding what I'm saying? Confusion? Clear? Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to implement this 10th marks validation, all these things using named functions. All these days we have tried using anonymous functions. Now we will try using named functions. Right? Now let us try it. Now what I will do, we have already worked on this. Let me create a new project. Create a new project and I will copy this component. As I said earlier, also I have already created so many functions, so many projects. So I am just dragging it here. The new project is created. I'll just say functions. The name of the project. And I will stop this. The project is created. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to create it at the 10th mark sheet. Okay, now here I am creating the folder called components. This components folder, I'm just using it. So 10th mark sheet, I'll be getting. I'm pasting the components folder here. And there are so many functions we have created actually, internal anonymous, so many anonymous functions we have created. I wanted to remove those things actually. I want the first name, last name, and subject marks. Those 8 fields only I want. I don't want gender or marital status and all those things for now. Then components have been created. Now I'm coming to this 10th mark sheet. As I said, I wanted to remove everything except these case exception. I'm removing everything. So I can create fresh. So I can. also. Let us maintain the reps we have created. I'll change this instead of that. Now I have taken the component. Now I wanted to add it in app. Now I am not deleting anything in tenth marksheet. I wanted to convert it to name of anonymous marksheet. Tenth marksheet I have created it. Now can we create variables inside a function? Yes. In a way, yes. Because we are using some memory for that. But inside that also functions are created. Okay, which is showing like this. And now, if I go to this 10th mark sheet, we have created so many anonymous functions. Yes or no? For each input, we have created three things: on focus, on blur, on change. Three things we have created. Now I wanted to create those functions and give you name to it, and I wanted to that I wanted. Uh, Now we have English is here. So for English, on focus is there. On focus, we have created some code. On blur, we have created some code. And on change, we have created some code. Now, these are all anonymous functions. I wanted to make it as named functions. So, what I will do, I will create a function. First of all, let us understand the behavior. And can we put a box inside another box? Yes. The same way, we can create a function inside another function. Now, this 10th mark sheet, even though we call it as 10th mark sheet, that's nothing but a function actually. Inside a function, we can create another function. Now, I wanted to create a function for our understanding. Now, I'll say I wanted to create a function. So, let English on focus. I'm creating an arrow function. And here, I'll just give you an example. I'm writing something called alert. So, it displays the message on the inside English on focus. Inside English on focus, I have created. So now, if I run this, will this alert will be displayed or not displayed? That is the behavior. Now I have created the function, but if I run the application, it is not displaying it. The alert. The reason is that function is not coming. Why all the CSS has been gone here? Because actually had copy pasted CSS Morpheus project. Forms. I'm replacing the CSS. Now I should see that CSS also now is compiled. CSS is also coming. Now that alert is not, but observe here. If I wanted to call this function, I just call it English. This is how we call it. Now observe here. If I refresh it, it should show. It's saving. Now, what is the behavior of the function? If you create the function, it will not be executed. If we call the function, then only it will be executed. It will not execute any function without calling it. That is its behavior. As I said, we don't, imagine your best friend in 10th is getting married in your hometown. How do you know that? Through other common friend you can know. You get it or you don't get it. Get or don't get it. Get it. You don't get it. When he calls, then only we let it. You know, he is getting married, but he has to array. Please come on time. That itself is sufficient. Then we lost other friends. Where is the marriage? When is the marriage? And all those things. Then we can exactly the same. Function also same thing. If you discard, it will be executed. Otherwise, it is not executed. That is the first behavior, one of the behaviors. And we can create variables inside functions. Also. You can create a variable inside a function. If you create a variable inside a function, that variable can be used within that function only, but not outside. You create a variable inside a function, that variable can be used within that function only, not outside. That means what? Inside this function, I am creating a variable, but let age equal to 20. I am creating the variable inside this function. Sir, no. Now, I am trying to access that variable. I try to access that variable. Now, this variable is accessible or not accessible? What it will display now? It displays 20. Now, it's right. But we are able to see it. But now observe here, I'll try to access the same variable outside the function. Outside the now let us see. It's showing error. saying age is not available. Age is not defined, is not created. Defined is not created. Not defined is not created. Understanding what I am saying? So if you create a variable inside the function that can be accessible within that function, not outside. Can I create a function inside another function? Now what I will do, now English on focus is a function. Inside this I am creating one more function. Let English on something I am creating just to check. I am creating another function. Function inside another function, and here you can say alert inside English on blur. Will this alert will be displayed or not displayed? We need to call it for. Now I'll say English on. I'm creating a function inside another function. And I'm calling it now it displays. Spelling mistake. Inside English on. You can create a function. Inside that function also you can create another function. Now observe here. I am creating a variable. I have created a variable called age. Can I access it within this? Sir, no. Let us. English inside English non-blur. Accessible. Because inside that same function only. See, now in this case, on focus is called parent function. On blur is called child function. Function inside a function. This is also no. Accessible is all these properties accessible inside this also. Inside this also is accessible. Parent to child. See, if your father bought a house, will that be yours or not? Yours. But you bought a house, will that be your father's? Now, if father and mother are there, children will stay in orphanage home. Father, mother is there, it will automatically belongs to you also. But child are settled in a very good manner, but parents are in old age. You might have observed. You will never see father is there, mother is there, but child is in orphanage. Don't see that. But children are there, well settled, but the parents are in old age. Nature is parent to child, not child to parent. Got a point? Exactly the same thing here. Now, if I create something in this parent function, it can be accessible within this also, child function. But if I create something here, I cannot access it also. Now here, what I will do, I will create let O is equal to 10. I am creating it inside learn. Now I will try to access it outside. Learn. Now it should show error actually. No, sir. It should test score. You have created here, outside it is not accessible. Score is not. Understanding what I'm saying? See, father has money, right? Father gives it to you. You have money, it's your wish actually. You may give or you may not give. You say, no, 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 I don't give. They won't do anything. Now imagine you wanted to buy a bike. You are going to college, BTech first year. You wanted to buy a bike. Now you have asked your father, Dad, I want a bike. They say, and giving an example, they say, dear son, slight difficulty is there. Please wait. What normally people do, he will cry, he won't talk for 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, and he will fight with mom, he will fight with dad. All my friends are coming on bikes. I am the one who is not. You can demand. First you will request, then ask, then demand. But imagine a situation, you are earning. Your father wanted to ask. Your father demands you. Last possible, okay. Otherwise, he will try other alternative. So nature is parent to child, not child to parent. The same applies here also. If you create something in parent function, it is accessible in child function. If you create something in child function, not accessible in parent function. Got a point? We are already using this actually. Now, if you observe here, all the refs, see what we have done. This component is nothing but a function. This component is nothing but a function, and the on click is nothing but an anonymous function. It means function inside function. Here you are creating a variable called pass marks, parent function. This pass mark you can access it inside English on change. Yes or no? Here English on change. You are accessing pass marks. This is nothing but child function only actually. Got a point? How many childs a parent can have? Any number. Now we have created so many child functions. We are calling it as a anonymous function. On click, we are creating the function, right? All those are anonymous functions are actually child of the parent function. Whatever you create in parent function, you can pass it to the child function. Whatever you create in the child function cannot be passed to the parent function. Inheritance means what? Inheritance, I got about it. Parent to child. We call it as genes. No, you heard about the Puranas called Ramayana. Ramayana, have you heard about it? During the climax of Ramayana, there is a yaga called Ashwamedha Yaga where horse goes and it will be taken by the king. Unfortunately, that horse goes through the ashram of Lavakusha. Now the soldiers comes and tries to take them, and they will fight with them. These Lavakusha are so powerful that they will beat each and everyone, including Lakshmana also. Then finally Rama comes. So even he start fighting with them. Then he will be wondering, if you just try to see that scene, he will be wondering how come these guys are so powerful. How are they powerful? Because Rama is powerful. Their child, inheritance, parent to child. Exactly. Whatever is there in the parent function passes to child function. Got a point? Clear? Now, what I wanted to do here, we have created anonymous functions. I don't want it to create anonymous functions. I wanted to create named functions. I wanted to change it a bit. Okay. We can write anonymous functions. It is working fine. But if we use named functions, we can increase more reusability. Increase more reusability. Now, what I will do here, I'm creating a function here. Uh, I'm creating a function here. English on focus, I can write it. Okay. English on focus. What I will do, I'm deleting the English on focus. I'm creating the function and I'm calling the function. What I wanted to write on focus. Let us come here. So let me remove unwanted repeats. Wait, now I have removed unwanted stuff. First name, last name. These things are there. Now on focus, what actually is happening? It is highlighting into orange color. And it is showing instructional text. That is on focus we have written. Now observe here. On focus, what I am doing, I am just taking this code, just taking this code, and I am storing it here. Now I am writing it inside this. This is nothing but now this is anonymous function or named function. This is named function. I have created a function called English on focus. There, what we are doing, we are displaying a console message, and we are saying English dot input English input for change it to be orange, and instructional text to be visible. Now I have created this. Now I wanted to call this. Now this is the function we have created. Now we are calling directly. Have you observed? We are calling directly. So if you observe it, see, it will automatically will be in orange color. It is not showing anything. That means something is wrong. Right click inspect. That is. Cannot read properties of undefined reading style. English unfocused style is the English dot current dot style dot background color. you have created the function, leave dot style dot color. Now, what actually is happening? We have created the ref here. We have created the ref line number 13, and we are assigning this ref to that input, right? We are assigning it line number 61. Line number 13 we have created the ref. Line number 61 we have assigned it, but we are accessing its values in line number 40. That means we have created the ref, we are assigning the ref, we are trying to get its control it. Now what is actually happening? Line number 13 we have created the ref. Line number 60 we are assigning the ref. But before assigning the ref, we are trying to control it. That's why problem is coming. Understanding what I am saying? So now what I will do, I will call this on click. Now on focus I will to say. Now the syntax is like this again. Dot brackets to create an arrow function. Inside this, yes. Like earlier only. But what we have done, whatever we have created earlier is actually anonymous function. We have stored it into a named function, and we are calling the named function. Now, if I click on focus, so now it will see. Now, on click off it. Everything is same, but earlier we don't have a separate name called English on focus. Now I wanted to do it for English on blur also. I'll just cut it, and I'll come at the top, and I'll create a function English on blur. Let English on blur. I have pasted what they have written, we have written there, and I will call this on blur. On blur, again inside this I am creating an arrow function. Inside this I am got it. Now on blur also will work. Showing one error. Line number 71. Now if I come out of it, not refresh it. I'm clicking on this. Then I'm clicking on this. Now see these values it is taking from autocomplete. Automatic. If you want, you can say automatic autocomplete off. It will be. Now it is showing on click of it. It's showing the options right. Now I don't want it to show like this. What I'll do, I'll come to the form. Form has a prop called auto. Auto complete off. By default it is on. So it is applicable to throughout the form. If you don't want it applicable to throughout the form, only for single, there for the single input you just got a off. Now it will not show. Now I am clicking on it. Now it is not showing. Okay, now output wise no difference, but English we have done through named functions. On blur we have done, on focus we have done, on change we haven't done yet. Now what I'll create one more. Let English on. English on change. Okay. Now I'll go here on change code. I will just take it. On change. I am testing it. So I have created an arrow function English on change, and I am going to call it on change. So now I am just creating the function, or I am calling also. Creating at the starting and calling whenever on change or on focus. Now if I change it, now it is showing pass. Output wise there is no difference, but earlier we have used anonymous functions, now we are using name functions. That's the difference. It's like I'm giving an example. Okay? Uh, if I'm giving an example with the dog. Okay? A dog delivers 5 babies. Okay. Day one also the same dogs. Day 10 also the same dogs. But what is the difference in day 10? You will be giving some names to those dogs. If you give the name, it won't change. Dog is dog only. It will not change its color or shape. It won't be changed. But you are giving a name, so better organizing it. Now you wanted to call a specific dog. How do you call it? You cannot call the specific dog without name. Exactly. So here also we are doing the same thing. Yesterday we have created functions without names. Today we are creating functions. Output wise, not difference. Got it? Now we have done for English. Now I wanted to do it for remaining subjects like the Telugu also. Complicated. Just copy paste only. Now I wanted to do it for Telugu. What I will do, select let the Telugu on focus. Like this, I have created a function. Then Telugu on focus code I wanted to copy paste it. Now Telugu on focus. Then cut it. Then paste it. Telugu focus. Done. Then let the Telugu on change. Telugu on change. Now what I will do, On change, I am copying this. Telugu on change, then Telugu on blur. Then we done. Step by step. Let Telugu on blur. Telugu on blur. What I Telugu on blur. Now I have created three functions. Copied dot code into that. Now I want it to call it. So here on focus. Remember, even on focus also you have to create an arrow function. Inside that you have to call it. Here, Telugu on. Telugu on. Now our code also looks a bit organized. Okay. Telugu. Now Telugu also works fine. Now for English, three functions, Telugu three functions, all the six we have made as named functions. We have given some names to it and we have added. So I am giving 87. So it is highlighting into orange color, and if I am typing it, it is coming into green or red bars of red. And if I come out of it, the blur is also changed. Got it? Now how to do it for Hindi? The same way. How to do it for Hindi? Hmm, hmm, hmm. Now I'll say let Hindi on focus. I've created an arrow function. Now I'm creating one more letter Hindi on blur. Then letter Hindi on change. I've created three functions. Now that code I wanted to paste it here. Hindi. Now I'll just copy this on focus. focus I have copied. Then on blur. On blur. First I am creating functions. I am moving the code from here to there. Then I am drawing. Next on change. Then what we have to do? Now see even on focus nil line on the line on bit. So here nil on focus nil on the nil on 1, 2, 3 we have done it. Now I wanted to do it for science, social and finance. Can you do it? Sir, Vinod, చేయగలవా లేదా? Now Vinod will guide us how to do for science. Tell me. I have shown 3 times, right? Now tell me. Hmm. Hmm. What is the function name I have to create? The function name I have to create. Tell me the syntax. Uh, uh, on focus. Uh, there. Huh? Uh, uh, uh. Next. There. Huh? Yeah. Beginner. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Cool. Uh, hmm. Hmm. Huh? Hmm. 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 Okay, the other science. work at the science scheme or work over there. Will it work? It won't work for science. What we have next what is the next step? Creating a function name, I have shown it 3 times. Actually, nine functions I have shown. 9 times I have shown. ఒకసారి మీ కమిట్మెంట్ ఏందో చూద్దాం ఇక్కడ. ఎట్లయినా 20 టాస్క్స్ పెండింగ్ ఉన్నాయి. ఈ ఫోకస్ ఎక్కడో ఉంది. ఎక్కడుంది? ఎక్కడుంది నీ ఫోకస్? I have explained 9 times, not 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. 9 times. That is your commitment. Like విన్నోళ్ళు సూపర్ మార్కెట్ లో సేల్స్ పర్సన్ లా పనిచేస్తున్నారు. ఈ కమిట్మెంట్ తో డేటా ఎంట్రీ ఆపరేటర్ గా పనిచేస్తారు. ఏంటంటే గట్టిగా చెప్తుంది. తింటున్నావు మరి ల్యాబ్ లో ఏం చేస్తున్నావు? అన్నానని కాదు. ఆర్ యూ ఆన్ ద రైట్ డైరెక్షన్? డివేట్ అవుతున్నావు. చిన్న పని ఏందో పని కానించుకుని జాబ్ నుంచి why I am asking you, you are not focused from starting. కాసేపు ఫోన్ చూసుకుంటావు, కాసేపు వాచ్ చూసుకుంటావు, కాసేపు వెళ్ళిపోయి నీళ్ళు ఇవ్వమంటావు. ఎప్పుడైపోతుందా అని వెయిట్ చేస్తాను. మా అందరికి ఏదో పని లేదు. ఓకే చెప్పు, మిగతా చెప్పు. ఎక్కడి నుంచి కింద ఇప్పుడు దారికి వస్తుంది. కాస్త పడేసరికి ఎనర్జీ అంతా తెచ్చుకొని పక్కన ఎవరు చెప్పాడు, రాహుల్ నాకే రాదంటావా? Then I have created this function. Now I have to call this. Sorry. Now if I come to science, focus is working, ink is working, on blur also is working. Now, okay. Now 6 subjects. How many functions we are creating? We are creating 6 into 3. On focus, on blur, on 3. We are creating 18. So for 6 subjects, we are creating 18. How many subjects you have for BTech? 64. Now for 64 subjects, how many you have to create? Into 3, 64. Into 3, 192. Is that the right way? There is a better way than this. Right? What we are doing is for each and everything we are creating a function. Because it works, it's working. There is another concept called functions with the input. What? Functions with input, or we call it as functions with parameters. If you use that, instead of 192, we can deal with just 3 functions. How many? 3 functions. No need to create 192. As per this approach, 192 you have to create. Here for 10, 6, 18 you have to create it. For BTech you have to create 190. But if I use functions with parameters, use parameters of functions with input. Here also 3. Here also. So functions are designed for organizing the code, but it has advantages like increasing the reusability, flexibility, and scalability. Got your point? Design, see, giving an example. What is the purpose of room heater? To get heat. The purpose of room heater is to generate heat. But the advantages of using room heater is you will be escaped from getting cold in winter. That's the advantage. Exactly. The purpose of functions are to organize the code. But it has advantages also. Increases reusability. Increases reusability. Reusability increases automatically. Flexibility. Got a point? Clear? Now you just modify your existing task to named functions. Then try to do some research on functions with parameters. We will try to learn in our next session. I thought to cover this today, but it took much time because I have shown it more time so we can understand it. So in our next session, we will be discussing on functions with parameters, also called as functions with input. Input means we give some values to function. Simply speaking, now this is a function, right? Sub. We are creating variables inside this sub. We can create variables inside this sub. This is called functions with parameters. Understand what I'm saying? That we'll be working on. Have you ever used parameters before? Here. Where? Parameters. we have used parameters also. Have you heard about something called props? In component we are giving the component. Starting we are giving something like prop, remember? That is what parameters are. You have worked on it, but you don't know. That we will be working in detail. Points to be remembered today is we can create a function inside another function. The behavior of the function is once you create a function, it must be called. Otherwise, the code will not be executed. And if you create a variable inside a function, that can be used within that only, not outside. If parent function creates a variable, child function can use it. If a child function creates a variable, parent function cannot use it. That is the thing. Got my point? Now see here, pass marks is actually created in the parent function, and we are using that in child functions. It is accessible. But if we create a variable inside child function, it cannot be used. That is its behavior. That's how it is decided. Okay. So now output may not be changed in the UI point of view. Don't find much difference, but internally the mechanism has been changed. Now you have a petrol car. Now technology has advanced. You have converted from petrol car to electric car. Same car, you have converted from petrol car to electric car. By seeing outside, you don't see any difference. But internally, the mechanism has changed. Exactly the same. Yesterday's output and today's output, you don't find any difference. But internal mechanism is changing slightly. Okay. Why I am saying slightly, today we have used named functions only. Now next session will be using functions with inputs or parameters. I just want you to do research on it. So now next session you can understand it. Okay, if you don't give automatical system, Prettier will take care of it. So we have worked on something called Prettier extension. That it will semicolon is nothing but full stop in English. Full stop, when do we use full stop in English? Here after completing the statement. But here we have an advantage. This Prettier will give automatically. Now I have deleted it. I'll just save it. Okay. See, the video name will be showing functions with parameters, but actually we have covered only functions. One second, let me